Hello everyone, respected sir, respected ma'am, and respected aspirants. I don't call you as aspirants, I call you as respected aspirants. Now, today I will say that it's not through the constitutional lens through which the government or the Prime Minister looking at the nation, but through the political lens or their ideological lens of RSS. I'm not, being silly or, dishonest. I'm talking in a honest way. Is BJP is the only person, is the only party which is being, ideological? Is Congress safer? No. Congress is so-called a centrist party, but never been a centrist party. Is Congress truly secular? Never. When you go into the backlash of past 70 years, why did Indira Gandhi got assassinated if she is truly secular? By a religious group. Why did a Sikh group assassinate Indira Gandhi if she is truly secular? She was never truly secular. That 42nd amendment is just a political acumen, nothing more than that, including secularism. Is that 42nd or 44th? I might be different. I'm not particularly sure about 42nd or 44th, but in some of the other amendment, 42nd or 44th, secularism has been introduced in preamble by a party which was never been secular. And BJP is also never secular. It truly accepts itself as being a centrist party or right-wing party, but it neither right-wing, it neither centrist. BJP never supported Hinduism. That's what I claim. Now, today we will talk about administration. What is administration? When you implement something, operate something, being accountable and looking for the welfare of the people is called administration. Is the government truly accountable? If the government is truly accountable, why did they introduce 130th constitutional amendment, removing ministers from their position after 30 days? That was a recent constitutional amendment introduced in the parliament, which by God's grace got repealed. Now it is in the joint parliamentary committee. Why is such a law being encouraged in the parliament? How can a minister who is being appointed by the people, not appointed by the party, ministers are appointed by the people, are the representatives of the people, how can they be removed by a law after 30 days? Such a nonsense. Now, we will talk about what can be the parameters to measure the accountability of a government. To understand the administration, we need to understand the accountability. And there are no parameters for accountability. It is very shameful that we, being the aspirants or being a common citizens, never proposed proper parameters to find the accountability of the government or the accountability of ourselves. Now, me and my friends, we will, thoughts of few solutions, and not solutions, few parameters by which accountability of the government can be measured. We will try to introduce few. Now, when Chief Justice of India make comments on the common citizens, now truly I doubt today, is judiciary properly separated from legislature? No, I think that judiciary has been involved with the legislature. Politicians are influencing CJI, Chief Justice of India. Politicians are influencing the Supreme Courts, High Courts and local courts is what I believe. There is no strict separation of boundaries, strict separation of powers. I want the nation to be operated like United States of America, proper separation between executive and legislature. Now the time has come. 75 years of the independence has been happened. Now legislature should not merge with executive. I don't want council of ministers. I don't want cabinet ministers. I want separation, proper separation of powers between legislature and executive. I don't want merging of them. That is what my proposal. Now, what is the difference between Charter Act 1833 and what's happening today? How is the today's government separated different from colonial government? No, there is no different. I will say that colonial government, according to Charter Act 1833, is more better than today's government. That is more better. Today, me being the Bharatiya, me being the rightful Hindu, so-called rightful Hindu, I would suggest that India should follow Kautilya's administration. We should, everybody, rather than reading nonsense NCERT's book, we should read Kautilya's books. Kautilya's administration, the rules has to be properly withheld, not just in the government, but by every citizen. We being common man, we should also follow Kautilya's administration. Rather than following nonsense government and nonsense charter acts, we should not read charter acts. Rather than in civil services, today I would also recommend UPSC to remove Charter Acts, colonial administration from the syllabus and introduce Kautilya's administration in the syllabus of UPSC. That is what my suggestion is. Now, Coming on the fourth point. What is my fourth point? Okay, we'll go with the fifth point. Now, one good way to see accountability is how well is the government answering to the people of the nation? Is the government truly answering to the people of nation? When will the government answer to the people of nation? When they introduce amendments to the Information Technology Act, read section 79 of the Information Technology Act, recent amendment which has been proposed. When they are shutting the mouths of the people, when they are not allowing the people to ask questions, how will they answer? There is no scope for questioning for the government by the people, then there is no scope for answering by the government. That is the major drawback. That is the master stroke given by a non-degree person. When a non-degree prime minister can give master strokes to the people, when we being the degree students can't we question the government? We should repel nonsense act like Information Technology Act. Now, we'll go to this. Just give me a minute. Now, there are great scholars like Woodrow Wilson and George Frederickson. They have proposed that administration should be free from political influence. That's what I've tried to explain from till now. They are a foreigner. Woodrow Wilson is a foreigner. Today, Ashish Sharma is an Indian. I am proposing the same thing. Administration should be free from political interference. Separation of power should be there. Now, George Frederickson also told that shifting administration focus from pure efficiency to social equality. Now, government should not look at the pure efficiency. It should look at social equity. Let's take Great Nicobar as an example. Okay, government is giving 92,000 crore and designed a proper project which can be a modular project. But is that ethical? Is that moral? No. That is purely political. No, that is not introduced for the safety of the nation. That is just a political argument. It is for the politician. It is for the corruption. It's for them to loot 92,000 crores is what I believe. People should follow George Frederickson and we should look at ethics and morals rather than proper efficiency in governance. With that, I would conclude my statements. And one last, as Sir Ajay, one of my colleagues asked the question that why are politicians becoming richer day by day? But I would say that question is wrong. I would say that why are richer people coming to politics? Why are poor people not coming into the politics is the right question which has to be asked. Thank you.